It's Disney Opinion time. This is where we bring you some of the most trusted theme park perspective from around the world concerning Disney parks news headlines that are trending right now. Hello everyone, Wade for the Kingdom Report joining you once again for this edition of Disney Opinion. And if you haven't done so already, we do encourage you to hit that subscribe button with the notification bell next to it turned on so that you never miss an update from anything we have coming your way. And if you haven't done so, make sure that thumbs up button is firmly pressed. Not only does it let us know we are on the right track, it also encourages us to continue to do content just like this moving forward. Well, today it is all about whether or not that new Legacy Passholder label that the Disneyland Resort has provided former annual pass holders is a slap in the face or something that is kind of courteous since they didn't have to do it at all. This opinion comes to us from Julie Tremaine, and she is a writer for sfgate.com. She wrote the following in a column this week. It's titled, "Sorry Disneyland, making me a legacy pass holder won't make up for ending annual passes." She says, when Disneyland announced the company would be ending the annual pass holder program, a collective scream went out across all of pass holderdom. With just a simple send of an email, anyone who'd bought an annual pass, regardless if you were a new pass holder or had been renewing since it started in 1984, lost their ultimate badge of Disney fandom, including me. And then, a little more than a week later, another email came. Annual pass holders are now legacy pass holders, as in former pass holders who have been put out to pasture, with a few parting gifts to take with us when we go. I'm sorry, Disney, but that's just not going to work for me, she says. In the January 27th email, Disneyland said that anyone who had an active annual passport when the parks closed on March 20th, 2020, has now become a legacy pass holder and gets, quote, magical extras that celebrate you, close quote. The current extra, a 30% discount on select merchandise during the week at some downtown Disney locations through February. This feels like much too small of a consolation prize to Disney's most dedicated fans, who are also the ones who visit the parks most frequently and, to put it in terms Disney can hear, spend the most money there. They're the ones who have head-to-toe Disney gear, like the Spirit jerseys that might cost $70, that match their themed Loungefly backpacks that might cost $80, and matching mini ears that might cost $30 in multiple themes and sets. The ones who pride themselves on trying every $7 seasonal churro flavor throughout both parks and pairing them with $15 thimbles of wine from Mendocino Terrace in California Adventure. Okay, maybe I'm the only one that does that thimble thing. She continues by saying, this whole thing feels a little too much like Disney broke up with us by saying they still want to be friends. But more than anything, the thing that bothers me about being forced into legacy pass holderdom is I have almost no hope of getting into the park on opening day. When Walt Disney World reopened in July, people with existing resort reservation packages that included theme park tickets were the first people granted access to the new reservation system. Immediately after that, annual pass holders could make reservations. Tickets didn't go on sale to the public until just a few days before the July 11th opening of Magic Kingdom. Animal Kingdom also opened that day, but Hollywood Studios and Epcot opened on July 15th. Long story short, having a Disneyland AP was pretty much going to be your only chance of getting into Disneyland on opening day, or any of the early days of the parks being open. More than that, pass holders are the ones most likely to want to go to the parks as soon as they reopen, which is probably why Disney chose to wipe the slate clean. The company doesn't release numbers about its capacity or its pass holders, but the Los Angeles Times estimates that 1 million people hold Disneyland annual passes. The Orange County Register puts Disneyland park capacity at 85,000 people and Disney California Adventure at 51,000, and estimates that the parks might admit about 10% of their capacity on reopening. At the very outside, it would be about 15,000 people, or about 1.5% of pass holders. So you can see why they need to do something drastic to try to get ahead of demand. Disney's first move towards pass holder crowd management was to implement blackout calendars in 2018. In 2019, the Southern California Resident Annual Pass got more expensive, increasing to about $400, and also more restrictive. Almost every week that offered access to the park only did so Monday through Thursday. In the past, the alternatives were the $1,000 plus passes that gave weekend access, some even in the most popular times. But another option became available that year, a Flex Passport for $649. When the resort closed last March, I had just purchased a Flex Passport, which for me truly did feel like a flex. I was finally at a point in my life when I didn't have to choose for cheapest options simply out of it being the only attainable one. But it was exciting for another reason. That passport allowed people to choose their attendance dates, booked by reservation 2 at a time a month in advance, and thereby get in on what were previously blackout dates only available to holders of the premium passes, which cost twice as much and included double the discount. 10% versus 20%, making a bottle of water a much more affordable $3.40 rather than $3.70. When Disney implemented the reservation-based pass, I don't think they or anyone else could have ever imagined the year that would follow, and the ensuing need to pivot to an all-reservation basis. Walt Disney World is still reservation-only, though it did re-implement limited park hopping last month. I got to use that pass exactly twice, on February 13th and 14th of last year, before the park shut down. But those were a sweet, sweet 2 days. Any annual pass holder discounts? A cast member would ask me anytime I made a purchase. Yes, I'd say with a delicious little flourish. My pass had expired nearly a year before, and I didn't renew, knowing I'd be away from California too much in the following months to justify the expenditure, so it felt especially good to be back in the AP Club. To be fair, hordes of people were glad when the AP program was killed, calling pass holders insufferable and plenty of other awful things, and that line of thinking is precisely why. Part of me wishes I didn't have a current pass when they canceled the annual pass holder program. I don't love the feeling of being put out to pasture, and I love even less losing hope that my AP would get me into opening day of the parks, whenever that finally happens. But here we are. No opening day in sight and no passes to use when we get there. I'll let you know when there's some good news about Disneyland. Today isn't that day. Once again, our thanks to Julie Tremaine of sfgate.com for that perspective on the new Legacy Passholder label that has been issued to all former Disneyland Resort annual pass holders. This story, this topic of Legacy Passholder has certainly got the Disney fan community worked up, and I understand it's not for everybody. Not everybody was a Disneyland annual pass holder, but for the million plus that were, it seems to hit very deep that this has been removed as an option for them, and that the Legacy Passholder extension of a label has been passed on to them. So what do you think when it comes to this idea of being called a Legacy Pass holder? Are you somebody that appreciates the sort of stopgap measure that this provides, offering you up some unique discounts for a few items here and there at the Disneyland Resort for the things that are open, at least until they reopen the theme parks and offer up a new sort of program, which they have indicated they do plan on doing? Or are you somebody who feels like all of this doesn't matter, you're not going back to Disneyland anytime soon, and you're frustrated with the process, over it, ready to move on, and unhappy that you no longer have an annual pass to utilize? That about does it for this edition of Disney Opinion. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What are your thoughts? Always looking for your perspective. Go ahead and leave it in the comments section down below. We would love to hear what's on your mind and may even feature your feedback this week on Kingdom Report Live. That's our live show every Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific, right here on the Kingdom Report YouTube channel. For the Kingdom Report, I'm Heath. We'll see you next time for an all-new installment of Disney Opinion.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.